Welcome, one and all, in here, out there, to The Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. We are coming to you live. Coming to you live after tonight's Democratic debate. Tonight we saw a clash of the big Bs. Biden, Bertie, Buttigieg, Hickenlooper. Coming into the evening, Joe Biden had a big lead in all the polls, and to celebrate, his supporters handed out free ice cream they called Joe Cones. A Joe Cone is also what Biden wears to make sure he respects personal space these days. Just safety. It's a response. It's a response. But tonight, the Joe Cone was met by the Kamala Harris flamethrower. You watched it. Yes. He had the Joe Cone, but she made Joe scream, you scream, we all scream, holy cow, she might be president. There you go. As a former prosecutor, Harris found everyone else on that stage guilty of being less interesting and sentenced them of 2 hours of being her pasty background singers. It all started out innocently enough for the vice president when he got a question about reassuring Wall Street that nothing would change, and he cranked the folksy knob up to 11.
What I meant by that is, look, Donald Trump thinks Wall Street built America. Ordinary middle-class Americans built America. My dad used to have an expression.
He used to say, son, the Vikings are coming for all of us, and they will end this village. It was a long time ago. Take your mother and your sister and get to the caves. Kamala Harris started by biting the head off of this question.
Do you think that Democrats have a responsibility to explain how they will pay for every proposal they make along those lines?
Well, let me tell you something. I hear that question, but where was that question when the Republicans and Donald Trump passed a tax bill that benefits the top 1% and the biggest corporations in this country?
And where will the questions be when I break out the Louisville Slugger on Trump in the Oval of Pain? Because after I snap him over my knee like a stale breadstick, there will be no more questions. Next question. And that's about right. That's about right. Mm-hmm. I believe in global warming because tonight Kamala Harris was on fire. And look at Bernie's face while she was giving that answer. He's literally licking his lips. She just took the top 10% of the best 40% of what I was going to say. It's not fair. Bernie also went after the president.
The American people understand that Trump is a phony, that Trump is a pathological liar and a racist.
Oh, they understand it, sir. That's the reason why some of them voted for him. And he Bernied on.
That's how we beat Trump. We expose him for the fraud that he is.
Not sure if we need to do that, Senator. Trump already has a long history of exposing himself. And kind of icky. Yeah, Senator Michael Bennet seemed surprised when a question was directed his way.
Senator Bennet, you have said, quote, it's possible to write policy proposals that have no basis in reality. You might as well call them candy. Were you referring to any candidate or proposal in particular when you said that?
Was that directed to me?
Am I supposed to talk? Am I on camera? Because I was just looking for the salad bar. I'm sorry. This seems very nice. Then it españoled again.
Buenas noches, gracias de invitarnos.
Wow! I knew Buttigieg spoke Norwegian, but I had no idea he spoke Beto O'Rourke. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Muchas gracias, señor. Muchas gracias.
Gracias, señor. Gracias.
Andrew Yang is running on a proposal for universal basic income, but I'm not sure if he knows that.
Mr. Yang, your signature policy is to give every adult in the United States $1,000 a month, no questions asked.
That's right.
I think that's like $3.2 trillion a year. How would you do that? Sorry?
With scratchers? With scratchers? I'm sorry, I was just trying to remember where I left my tie. I had one when I walked in here. Then Congressman Eric Swalwell showed how tough he was by throwing a punch at an old man.
I was 6 years old when a presidential candidate came to the California Democratic Convention and said, "It's time to pass the torch to a new generation of Americans." That candidate was then Senator Joe Biden.
Oh, snap. I think Swalwell already has that torch because that was a sick burn. But Vice President Biden had a comeback.
Vice President, would you like to sing a torch song?
I would. I'm still holding on to that torch.
Yes, I'm still holding on to that torch, which is why my slogan is Biden 2020. Give me the nomination, or I will burn this place to the ground. All right, do not mess with me. You whippersnapper. Come on. Come on. I'll give you the Jack Johnsons. Get into it. You little shaver. At one point, every candidate was talking over every other candidate about something that I can't remember other than how Kamala Harris put an end to it.
Senator Harris.
We can't afford to wait for evolution on these issues.
Hey, guys, you know what? America does not want to witness a food fight. They want to know how we're going to put food on their table. Yes?
Yeah. She had that line ready. Yeah, she had that in some Tupperware. Now, finally, self-help guru Marianne Williamson had to turn to weigh in, and she had her own prescription for beating Trump.
I'll tell you one thing. It's really nice if we got all these plans, but if you think we're going to beat Donald Trump by just having all these plans, you got another thing coming. Because he didn't win by saying he had a plan. He won by simply saying, make America great again. We've got to get deeper than just these superficial fixes.
Yes, we need to go deeper than these superficial, carefully thought out political policies. Has anyone tried fixing America with crystals and bee pollen? Yoga? John Hickenlooper was asked a classic debate question.
Governor Hickenlooper, day one, if you are day one at the White House, how do you respond?
What would I do on day one of the White House? Well, gee, I'd probably congratulate whoever won the election because I should not be up here. But once again, self-help guru Marianne Williamson had a more holistic approach to immigration.
What President Trump has done is not only attack these children, not only demonize these immigrants, he is attacking a basic principle of America's moral core. We open our hearts to the stranger.
At least I hope so, because no one knows who the hell I am. Just look. Mayor Pete focused on his faith.
We got to talk about one other thing, because the Republican Party likes to cloak itself in the language of religion.
I don't know, Mayor. Nowadays, it's less of a cloak and more of a sheet. Halfway through, there was a personnel switch, with Rachel Maddow playing the part of Lester Holt and Chuck Todd playing the part of a guy who really likes the sound of his own voice. When discussion turned to racism, a lot of the white folks on stage had opinions, but Kamala Harris had experience.
We're going to get to you. Hang on. We're going to get
to stage. I would like to speak on the issue of race.
Senator Harris,
if
I could preface this, we will give you 30 seconds since we're going to come back to you on this again in just a moment. Go for 30 seconds.
Okay, so for 30 seconds to sum up an institutionalized racism that's been plaguing our country since our very foundation, and go.
I'm going to now direct this at Vice President Biden. I do not believe you are a racist. And I agree with you when you commit yourself to the importance of finding common ground. Mm-hmm. But I also believe, and it's personal, and I was actually it was hurtful. to hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country. And it was not only that, but you also worked with them to oppose busing. There was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools. And she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me.
I believe Harris on busing because she clearly just took Biden to school. And Harris, a very emotional moment. Yeah. That was heavy. And Harris did not let up.
But Vice President Biden, do you agree today that you were wrong to oppose busing in America then?
No.
Do you agree?
I did not oppose busing in America. What I opposed is busing ordered by the Department of Education. That's what I opposed.
Well,
I
there
did
was
not
a
oppose.
failure of states to integrate public schools in America. I was part of the second class to integrate Berkeley, California public schools almost 2 decades after Brown v. Board of Education.
Because your city council made that decision. It was a local decision.
So that's where the federal government must step in.
I hope they took dental photographs of Biden before this debate because they're going to need a reference to put his teeth back in. And then Harris turned her fire from Biden to Trump.
The fact that we have a president of the United States who has embraced science fiction over science fact will be to our collective peril.
Well, of course Trump embraces science fiction. I'm pretty sure his hair was shaved off a Wookiee's ass. And Harris spoke of her personal experience with wildfires in California.
I spoke with firefighters who were in the midst of fighting a fire while their own homes were burning.
And they said to me, "Now's not a great time, Senator. Could we talk a little later?" Then, Chuck Todd tried desperately to take control of the debate.
Before we go, I'm going to go down the line here, and I'm asking you, please, for 1 or 2 words only. All right? Please.
Bite me, Chuck? Oh. Sorry, that's 3. I apologize. Then they had another technical difficulty.
We're going to continue the questioning now with Lester in the audience. We are in a second are going to have a question from Lester in the audience.
Sorry, I thought I was. Yeah. My apologies. Chuck Todd tried once again to do one of his never successful just one-word answer questions, but he got pretty upset when people tried to actually give a substantial answer.
That's a perfect time for me to do another one of these down the line. What is the first relationship you like to reset as president? Go down the line. I'm trying to get one or 2 words here.
And please don't talk too much, okay? You're not Chuck Todd. I am. Zip it. Zip it. And when it came to closing statements, Marianne Williamson had the plan to heal the country.
I'm going to harness love for political purposes.
And anyone curious what she means by harnessing love, do not Google love harness. It's something totally different. Please do not. And Kamala Harris summed it all up with her closing statement.
Thank you. Well, I just want to leave you with a couple of things.
Joe Biden's balls.